some discussions, and it was conditional that if we're going to have another live show, that we open it up with a local act. So we met, myself, Glenn, and Jeff, a few of us met and discussed, who we were going to get to do that, and it's a great privilege and an honor for us to have the Butlers opening up. Now, the Butlers are a mainstay in Cornwall. They've been around since 1965, as a matter of fact. I've got some of their bios here. I felt it appropriate to have them like that, so there's your bio. This is Bob Bazinet. Bob is with the Butlers. That's their bio there. Yeah.
I don't need one.
Now, for you
I want
folks,
one for my room.
okay, for you folks that don't know,
Oh, I used to go and listen to them at the Royal.
yes, the Butlers have been around Cornwall since 1965, and for us to have them opening the show here, I think it's absolutely awesome. It's going to be a night for the history books, as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, for a local band to have the privilege of playing a live show at the Port Theatre, I think it's fantastic, and it's our privilege and our honor to have the Butlers.
Second show here. Hopefully we're gonna have another sold-out event. It's a thrill to have a band that's as old as a theater to play here. So we may as well get somebody that's been around as long as the theater has to keep the momentum alive and carry on with some other local bands in the future. This Brooks and Dunn tribute is going to be amazing. They're an incredible band from St. Catharines, I believe, and they're actually, from what I've been told, they're endorsed by Brooks and Dunn, so they have the permission to do Brooks and Dunn tribute. They're the only tribute to Brooks and Dunn in Canada. So it's my second time bringing them here, and the last time they were here, Mr. Lalone from Canada Day, I used to do all the bookings for Canada Day, had booked them and brought them in, and they were just a knockout band and hit it right out of the park. And I've been getting asked ever since to bring them back, so it's been about 8-9 years since they've been here, and along with the Butlers, I'm sure the Port Theatre is going to be another rocking evening.
Now, for you folks that don't know, Larry Sylvan's with the Butlers as well. There's 4 members of the band. There's Bob and
George Sharrell,
George has been with the band since the beginning,
Claude Clement,
and Chloe. And like I said, for myself, I can't express enough, how great it is for us to have a local band being able to play the Port Theatre. Because I think as we go forward in terms of the Port Theatre, it's the type of thing, it's the type of buzz that we want to create. We want to give local bands the opportunity to play here. So to have these guys here first for us, I think it's a big score, and we're happy to partner with them. So
yeah, it's going to be an incredible show, and I think by getting the word out about the Port Theatre and doing live events like this, you're going to generate more traffic coming through these doors and generate more business for the facility. And by doing that, we'll be keeping the building alive and kicking, and keep me bringing in more acts. So it's a coup for the city if they stop and think about it, because rather than sitting around waiting for something to get built, we actually have something to turn to other than other venues that are just too expensive. They gotta potentially bring in a crowd too,
Yeah.
In order to bring local bands in here, they have to have a bit of a following. You can't have a band come in here with 6 family members and do a 2-hour show.
we want to keep the
It's
ticket
pointless,
prices low. We want to provide, the best possible venue that we can provide. We want to make sure we have all our, Larry not only is doing, among other things, he's looking after some of the, the technical end of it, so to speak.
They'll be showcasing local entertainment. There'll be CD release parties here. There'll be all kinds of stuff like that. It's just there's still work to do. If they all want to come in, trust me, I've been getting a lot of calls, and they're all
But
welcome.
everything is a possibility. That's
Okay,
just it. There is
everything's
no
a
such
possibility.
thing
We
other
just
than
got to get things up to
viral.
par. And
Everything
make
else
it
is a
adequate for the
possibility.
bands.
If we can book it and rent it, then absolutely, that's what it's for,
Yeah.
right? It's for events, it's for, and I mean, a lot of people, I think we proved it with the Johnny Cash tribute. People don't really like going to bars anymore. So to sit in a bar, you have a lot of people that won't go to that kind of venue if you want. Where here you can bring your child, you can feel comfortable because it's not a bar atmosphere. You know, I think that's a big
Yeah, it's a completely
deal.
different vibe. You're here to listen to the music and to, you know, to appreciate the artists. And if we can provide the opportunity to shine the spotlight on some local talent, that's what we want to do.
Oh, what's gonna go wrong? We had a home run, and that's all there was to it. We got great
This is
feedback
gonna
from
be
the
out of the
public.
park.
Glenn, when was the last time you saw that big a lineup on the street?
Lucy's point, Larry's the one who observed it. He said he'd never seen a crowd that relaxed.
When was the last time you saw that big a line on Montreal Road?
Oh my God.
Well,
When they used to have the, what is it, La Semaine Française, that's when the people used to be.
The street dancers.
Yeah.
When the carnival, when the parade used to go by.
Yeah. It's just, it really is like that. It was great to see.
And there's gonna be many lineups like that at
The
the
whole,
tennis
the
shows.
whole point was, I wanna make sure everybody had a good time.
Oh, and they
And
did.
I'd say they did.
Yeah.
Place for charitable events also.
Yeah,
Certainly
well,
is.
there's a couple of things coming together, because of course, there's the historical,
charity.
the historical significance of the building. I mean, that's why a group of us are involved, the historical significance of the building. You know, we want to make sure
Well, that
that,
doesn't do me any good.
I know, but we want to make sure that,
Don't
yeah.
forget, heritage is a provincial matter, and the provincial government, are you kidding?
Yeah.
They
Give me
have,
a break.
and I have contacted them, they have no.
They did the old Egyptian two-step around
Do
heritage.
you have a number of how much you raised from the Johnny Cash show that's going back into the theater?
No, that show paid for itself, the Johnny Cash tribute show,
Okay.
covered for itself and a lot of the ads and the tickets and then and all that. That their show, it was the first show, is to get people back involved, to let them know, look at what we got here, you know?
Well-
I didn't make a dime off it, and it was all thrown back into the same.
Well, in
same
answer to
thing.
your question, you know, in terms of a dollar amount, it's hard to put an exact figure as to how much went back into the facility, because we have a bunch of volunteers working on it. So some of the stuff, when people are sponsoring the show, some of the stuff is donated. For example, we had electricians donate some of their time. We had people donating the plasterers that were putting the plaster on the wall, were donating their time.
Paint,
The paint that's coming this time is being donated. So there's a number of things involved in it. It's not just always just a straight dollar figure, but
There's a lot of dollars involved right now. You know, I'm gonna say we're about, when I say a lot of dollars, it's minimum because we didn't have to pay for the work.
yeah.
There's $3,000 into it right now, and of course, there's much more to be needed. And that $3,000 sort of has to be paid back, you know, kind of thing. So we're still working on trying to find places where we can make some money so we can pay for this stuff, because it
Because
doesn't.
we need a stage, we need an adequate dressing room, we need the paint to be done, we need the seats clean.
Yeah, and
And all that stuff costs
we're
money.
also working with Glenn to prioritize in terms of what it is we were going to do. For example, we met the other day and I said, what was it that you would like to see in terms of priority? Is it the sign outside? Is it the air conditioning system? Is it the plaster? Is it the paint? He said his priority at this point is to keep the momentum going, because I mean, there's probably a long list of capital work that needs to be done. I mean, he had the roof done not long ago. There's a number of things. So as much money as we can make from the event and as many resources we can get from the event are going back into the building.
Mark, with your experience as a past city councillor, are there any funds that the Port Theatre can access from the city other than Heart of the City?
That's a good question. I don't know. I know that there was the Heart of the City. There may be.
that's where I got the HOTC.
Yeah.
Had to go through the ringer to get it.
Yeah. The last event that we put on was put on all with volunteers and with private individuals getting involved in private companies. We had no help from any level of government. As a matter of fact, we asked for a dumpster. The only thing that we asked for was a dumpster, and we couldn't get that. So we just plowed through. There was a group who just plowed through, and we did it all through private donations.
With the city spending over $100,000 a year on Altsville Theatre, paying the rent essentially, does it make sense for the city and for taxpayers to be pumping that much cash into Altsville when there's a heritage building of the port's nature sitting here needing some love?
Well, we don't want to get into a political fight. That's not, our group does not want to get into a political fight. Our group is involved because we believe in the Port Theatre, we believe in local talent, and we believe that if we can put the two of them together, it's kind of the final piece of the puzzle that's coming together. You know, we have a perfect venue to have those types of shows that we want to have. We get a good vibe going. People are entertained. You can sit and relax. You know, as Lucy was saying, without having to worry about being in a bar and, you know, if they're going to be some kind of trouble. They're here to listen to the music. They're here to be entertained. And for us, that's why we're involved.
City Hall can support it by coming to the events and showing their support for the venue and their love for the building. If I get anything from anybody down at City Hall, I like to see some of them come to the show. You know, that's all I really care about. And then they can see for themselves, wow, there's another place up the road from Alkaline Theater.
But obviously, the city has some discretion to be dishing out monies for arts and culture, and they just spent a ton of money on the Arts and Culture Scape program. They're spending it with Craig, they're spending it with the Woodhouse Museum, they're spending it with Altsville Theater, which is just renting St. Lawrence College's auditorium. Surely a building like this should be able to get a little bit of love at some level from the city to help maintain and save it.
Yeah.
Love is always welcomed here. As long as they have the love to give,
Yeah.
we'll take it, we'll embrace it.
We
We're
found
not going to go asking
I
for
say we
it.
have to keep at it and to change their minds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And basically, if they come and see it, I think it will change their minds. I believe that they'll see that, you know, I mean, if local citizens like myself can do it, then come on. You know,
Yeah.
big government should be able to do it
Yeah, it's not a political
much
fight
faster
for us.
than
We
me.
believe in what we're passionate about. We have artists that are passionate about
I
their
don't want
work.
to get into this venue against another venue, I don't want to hear that.
No,
No.
We're doing what we think is right for here.
yeah.
Ultimately, the bonus part of this is Cornwall has another venue for live entertainment. And
And
it's
right now,
smack,
it'll be like-
it's the only one in town with a marquee that big. So let's get it lit up and run and
We're gonna
get that
stand
crowd
there
outside
for a
again.
while.